can I ask exactly how that works? If someone wants to complain about a search result which is being thrown up because the content of the web page which is being offered is, for example, defamatory, how does a user go about doing that?
Yeah, so I'm glad to explain that. I think I can clear up a lot about how that works. Let me start by saying that obviously Google is not the internet, and so what I'm going to describe isn't a way to make a website come down. What we are doing is reflecting in our index the content that came from these third-party sites that are put up by someone else that we have no editorial control over and so forth. We're just attempting to sort of neutrally index them. And so the process I'm going to describe is the way to stop a search result from showing up on Google, on sort of our little corner of the internet, but it doesn't change the fact that it's out there and that a user might find it by following a link, from Facebook or Twitter or from an email. So there are two basic processes that I'll go through, and each has a different public-facing tool that can be used to get something removed from Google search results. The first is a process for webmasters. So this is for the actual operator of the website, the newspaper in the case of a news website. If a webmaster puts something up and does not want it to appear in our search index, it's really important to us to make sure that we honor that intention. It's a fundamental tenet of our business, and I think of every big search engine, every responsible search engine's business, to honor that webmaster intent. And so, in the first place, if they don't want it indexed, there's a technical standard they can use to say, "Hey Google, don't put me in your search results." But assuming the case,
that's for a particular story or a particular web page.
It's for any particular page, or for an entire site. The webmaster can choose sort of at whatever level he or she wants to say whether or not something should be indexed in our search results. But supposing they didn't do that, and they published something and they want to retract it, the sort of slowest and easiest option is they just take it down off of their website, and the next time we crawl the website, the next time we visit it, our results will be refreshed and will show that it's gone or that the page has different text now. Assuming that there's a more urgent need than that to take it down, we offer a public-facing tool. It's called the cache removal tool. And I don't think that was in the evidence we submitted, but I'm happy to get you the URL or get you a screenshot. The webmaster can go to that tool, type in the web address, a little bit more information, click a button, and say, "Google, get this out of search results as soon as possible." And we do that. We get it out quickly. And if that for some reason were to fail, we have people who can help to accelerate this. Because as I said, it's really important for us to do what webmasters want, to not index them if they don't want to be indexed. And also I would say that for a person who's the victim of defamation or of bad content online, this is by far the best option because it means you've gone to the webmaster, they've sort of taken down the content where it sits, they've solved the problem at its root, and at that point getting it out of Google's index is sort of cleanup. So that's the first scenario. The second scenario, and one I think that you've heard about here, is if the content is appearing on a website, again, a third-party website that Google indexed and has no other relationship other than being an indexer, and the individual who is the victim of say defamation on that site wants to get it taken down, and the webmaster isn't responding, for example, then they can come to Google using the tool that's called, I think it's called removing content from Google, the one we had a screenshot of it in our evidence submission. And that also is just sort of, you fill out a form, you name the URL, you can tell us which Google product you're talking about, what the basis is, click a button and submit it, and that comes into a team in Mountain View. And we review it and we take things down in compliance with UK law. I should also elaborate that although that we think it's sort of best for people to use that site because it's a very efficient process. It automatically gets added to a queue for review. We really have our ears open everywhere to pick up complaints. So if somebody were to send a paper letter, say to the UK entity, they would send it to me in Mountain View, and we would follow up and apply UK law. And so that. That is the mechanism for getting web search removals in the UK.